Good evening. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Monday, the 5th of June. I can't believe time's flying like this, 2023. All right, my friends. So today we had events taking place with Apple, of course, where the market was up about $2.50 early on. The stock actually closed lower. Went to an all-time high today. But, you know, the product's probably a revolutionary product. It's going to take time for it to go mainstream. They priced the product in the headset, so it's not mainstream. At $3,499, it is not a mainstream product because these headsets will be fun for a year, and then you're going to realize, well, the newest one's coming out and so on and so forth. Number two, there's already these out. How many people do you know own one of the Meta ones or the Google ones? I don't know anybody. I'm sure you won't know too many people that own this. It'll be the high-tech people that have ideally some money to burn. They'll try these products. They'll be the first ones to learn about it. And 2-3 years from now, whatever it is, I would assume it becomes more mainstream. Prices would have to drop probably to the $1,000 range. Got to take inflation, obviously, into account with all that. But that's before this thing gets to be for the average person on the street. More important was the new upgrades in their operating system as I see it. We saw that the Saudis raised oil. Well, they attempted to raise oil prices. I don't know that it worked today, but one day doesn't prove anything. They're going to cut their production by 1 million barrels unilaterally. OPEC is not joining them in any manner to do this, nor is Russia. I'm sure Russia's applauding it because anything to help prices stay up, even though they sell at a discount, the discount's not as deep. That's the way you have to look at it. Then, the other event you have to take into mind now that the debt ceiling issue is behind the markets, there is a problem. The Fed has the Treasury has no money in its coffers. They have to go issue bonds and notes in order to get you or some entity to buy it so they get operating capital now. They're going to do that, probably to the tune of $1 trillion, you heard me, not billion, $1 trillion before the end of this year. So that's another headwind because, like a vacuum, it's going to suck money out of somewhere. If it's money market funds, well, they have that money. It's not with the bank. They'll have it. Not an impact at all. If it comes out in any manner where it starts coming out of deposits on the banks, that is an impact on them. The banks are also going to see the big banks aren't going to buy too much of this. They're going to have their reserve requirements almost double instantly. They're talking of getting that done this month, the regulators, and that will put them under pressure again to put away more capital for that, and they probably won't have this big appetite for it. In addition, you tie yourself in at one rate. What if something happens? Then you got to do and deal with what you just dealt with in some of the smaller banks. As for the smaller banks, this will be a problem for them if it turns into that the money market funds can't absorb this money that the Fed wants to do. I'm not saying they can't. They're the likely buyer. In Google, a new high for the move. So this market just keeps away and going. You can see that you've got a lower low, higher high, but new highs. Remember, there's about 7 stocks that have carried the stock market up. You know, they're all the big tech names. Those are the ones, including Apple, that hit a new all-time high today. So this is what's going on. This is where all this is taking place. Can it carry the market indefinitely? Don't know. Right now it's done it, so I'm not fighting it. There's nothing bearish here, but there's no reason to buy when you don't have a trend going. You're churning higher is the right way to say this. You're not embedded. You're overbought. If you pop again, I would say 128.70, a big resistance spot, the 18-day average support. Schwab drifting right here, up 4 cents for the day. If we step back a little bit here, let's see if it'll let me do this. Yes, you had lost the embedded reading that you had on Thursday. You got it back on Friday, and you've held on to it. So that was a bit of a bear trap. Can you get up here? If you lose it again, you're probably going right through the 18-day average. When I see them lost back-to-back, that's typical pattern. Lost would be that loses the bullishness, but right now it hasn't. In UGA, one of the things that we keep hearing about is people saying, well, if the crude's going to go up, and that's a big if crude's going to go up, and that's the attempt by the Saudis to do that, then gasoline prices should follow. More important to me for gasoline is we got to get ourselves positioned for the July 4th driving holiday, remember? And then after that, the end of the summer one. So we'll do that. We'll look at it. Is there anything to do here? No. You have the trend down, the bias up since you're over the 18-day average, and momentum flat. In the financial services, I had told my clients that they have to bail on this today. Actually, Friday, I should say. First challenge of the Bollinger Band. Boom, right back down today. That's what I said then. Same thing happened in XLI, the industrials. Nice rally, but that's all. You hit the Bollinger Band, 100-day average. I teach you come out of the market completely. NVIDIA, still acting good. If you lose the embedded reading, it's at 80.13. If that gets lost tomorrow, the odds favor, unless it snaps right back and regains it, that price and the 18-day average are going to make a run at each other. So that could be the beginning of a correction. Am I predicting it? Lose the embedded reading, and I will until it regains it. In stocks, it's already begun. You lost the embedded reading. So now, unless the market gets back over that high, I'm looking for price and the 18-day average to now make the run at each other. In the home builders, okay, you've gone from the lower band to the upper band. Here you went from the upper band to lower. Don't you notice you're going nowhere? You're doing one of these wave things and just getting chopped up if you're trying to catch a trade in it. It's almost impossible to do it. Got to be a very, very short-term trader. Energy sector. So today you hit the upper bands. You're not embedded. If you've taken my course, what would you be doing on a day like today? Are you buying up there? Or are you bailing on your position? You know what I would be teaching. Now in gold, you still have lower highs, lower lows. You're very oversold. The market is trying to make a statement to hold the 100-day average of closes. You would get bullish if you closed over 184.21, and until that happens on the current pattern, I don't see anything there. Silver market rallied right up to the line in the sand, the red line where everything's decided from, and fell from there. While the trend is up, it's trying to say, is the 100-day average going to support me or not? To get bullish, you've got to clear 2,200 on a closing basis. We'll see if it can do it. Copper had that big pop over the past few days and just gave everything up very quickly, back to the 18-day average, and I don't see a trend that it's got. BND, all you had was a bear market rally via the debt ceiling, and now you're coming right down, and I'm warning you, how are we going to fund the Treasury? Interest rates will go up from that funding. The question is, where does the money come from? Does it create a problem? You want to see wild action? This is not wrong. This is the dollar index, and then right back. If you think you can trade that, you're better than 99% of the people out there. You lost the bearish embedded reading in the euro. So while it's pulling back until it takes this low out, the odds still favor our challenge here. But there's another piece of bad news that happened. Now the 18-day average of closes just got underneath the 100. That's bearish in itself. So I see a lot of resistance at that point. An ugly chart without any question. And that's the problem right now. We're in one of these ugly time frame periods to trade. It happens from time to time. You don't get any really pretty pictures. What we do have going for you at this point, though, is pretty interesting. It is our free offers, and these drop and they keep going down. Pivot points, you can see over here. The series is there, the trading kit, free access to the daily QT price counts. If you choose any, please do this. You're going to love what this is. You won't see this anywhere else. So you go to our website under free offers. It's there. You can move your cursor up here. You choose the ones you want. Just select them. Put in your name, your email address. We'll have everything out to you tomorrow. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great day. IraEpstein.com is a spot you can get that as well. Take care.